see it.
I love this comment right here. Normally, I lurk around Rob's podcast first, but I think I'll start here tonight. Thank you, Brian. Thank you for starting here. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Survivor Now podcast. My name is Randy. Tonight, I am joined by season 41 castaway Eric Abraham and two-time Survivor player Bruce Peralt, and we are here to discuss episode 11 of Survivor 47. And let me just say, another good episode, but I'm not happy because the two names that got thrown out tonight, Genevieve, I don't want her to go home because she's my winner pick, and everyone knows I'm biased and cheering for her. And the other person whose name got thrown out, the one who went home, was Kyle, and I wanted to see him break this challenge record. And even though I predicted he was the one who was going to go home, I'm devastated for the man. So we'll start off with Bruce. Bruce, you are sad tonight because that is the end of your fantasy team. Thoughts on tonight's elimination before we actually get into the episode?
I gotta look. All right, so first off, this episode was near and dear to my heart because this is the week that I went out. So I'm sitting here and I kept a brave face on tonight while the family and friends were at the house, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, shoot, like this is, it brought back a lot of memories about this point in time last year and how I went home, playing this beautiful game that I love. Yes, my man is gone. My fantasy team is blown up. So that is done. Not okay with that. I'm thinking next year I'm going to come back stronger. But first year maybe I looked into it a little bit too deep. Who knows? But Kyle did a great job, and hats off to him. Even though I got a hat on my head, hats off to him because this was a good episode this week. It kept me on my toes. But just like when I played, I was constantly being told, play your idol, and we'll let you live another day. And I knew that once I played the idol, I was going. And then again, I won, immunity after immunity. And then when the time came for them to leave me alone, I was on the block. So I should have played it, but I didn't. And I knew I would have went home anyway, the next week anyway. So anyway, I'm full of emotion. That's what I'm getting to. I'm full of emotion today. So if you see, somebody's going to knuckle up because nobody comes within 10 feet of me today. The rest of the day.
It's the season of happy Thanksgiving to all who celebrate. And it's the emotional time of year. It's an emotional time of year for family. I found it really interesting that Kyle, the man who has spoke more about family this season more than anyone else, is the one who goes home on the episode before the biggest family holiday of the year, Thanksgiving. Devastating.
Yeah.
Abraham, he handled it with class.
But here's the thing. I mean, we get a chance. What people don't see is how much time we spend with each other. You see the clips of where we're talking about each other or we doing strategy or something like that, but you don't get the real understanding of we're there from sun up to sundown all day. You're going to talk about your family. You're going to talk about your kids, your wives, your husbands, your boyfriends, your girlfriends, your problems in your lives. You may work out some situations while you're there because all we do is have time to spend time with each other. So I think it's beautiful when we see them and they're leaving and they're really saying, hey, for those that don't leave mad, they're like, hey, great game. Enjoy yourself. I didn't make it to that point of winning, but then you get to Ponderosa and wait on folks. You be at Ponderosa like, all right, I'll be here. You get here, I'll be waiting on this pier. I was literally on the pier waiting. I was like, yeah, y'all be here in a minute.
Yeah. I mean,
it's funny. You literally sit there and you're walking down that ramp. Kyle sat there and he gave everybody a hug, gave Jeff a big long hug, which is great. You walk down that ramp when you go into that final confessional and it hits you. It starts hitting quick. And then you get back to Ponderosa, you have something to eat, and then you get yourself to your hotel, your room where you're by yourself, cleaning yourself up because you're nasty. For them, it was 20 days. For me, it was 19. You're nasty. And then all of a sudden, it's like, boom. waterworks start happening. You start thinking about what you could have
out.
done. You're more strategic sitting in Ponderosa after you just got out of the shower than you've ever been in your entire life, because you are now replaying the entire game in your head.
And Bruce can speak on this. I mean, for us, the first half of the crew that comes in for being voted out, we don't get a chance to vote on the jury. But you sit there replaying the game with and his crazy part about it is you never met the other tribe. We never talked.
Yeah.
So you only talk once you get back to Ponderosa. So I think the second person to come out wasn't anybody from my tribe. I think it was I don't remember who was second on it. Who got second wasn't my tribe. It was third, because that was my person got voted out.
It was you, Sarah, and then I can't remember who was after Sarah.
I count Sarah me as 1-1 because it was the only season where you voted out two people.
Let us know in the chat. Let us know in the chat who got out third on. Yeah, I think it was Voce actually. But we've got so much to talk about in this episode. We know we missed you guys last week. That's on me. Hey, look at me. That's on me, everyone. Our schedule was really messed up last week. But we are back to break down tonight's episode. The chat is already going. So if you are one of the people watching on X, Twitch, or YouTube, make sure you let us know what you think in our Ancient Voices chat. Wither is here, Abraham, Sarah, and then Voce went after that. We also have a couple questions from Brian and Roy. I see the questions you guys have put in the chat. I've starred them. We're going to come back to the questions and talk about those at the end of the show. So if you guys have questions throughout the episode, leave them. We'll touch base on them towards the end of the show before we log out here to enjoy tomorrow with our families. All right. I mean, we're going to get back to Kyle getting eliminated. What led to that point? I do want to start with the fact that this episode, we kind of saw a divide in the tribe. We saw two groups form. We saw the people on the outs, who are Kyle, who is seen as a physical threat, Sam, who is seen as, the second physical threat behind Kyle, doesn't really have anyone in the game after losing his number one in Sierra. And then we have Genevieve, who after the Soul vote, she was flying. She was cruising in the game. Then she voted out Soul, and now she's got absolutely no friends pretty much. That's how quick Survivor can change for you. She was doing great, decided to vote out Soul, and now it's looking like that was the wrong decision for her. And then on the flip side, you have this majority of 5 that is forming, which is Andy, Caroline, Sue, Rachel, and Teeny, who kind of just wants to control the game moving forward in a sense. I ask you, gentlemen, this is pretty much the first thing we saw in this episode. What did we think about these two groups? Do you think the 5 can stick together moving forward, or is this going to be a voting block situation where next week that 5 is going to kind of split up and cause some chaos?
I think it's going to fall apart. I think it's just too many. Here's the thing: you can overplay the game at this level. Stick with who can be the one that you can deal with down to the last 5. You got to play Survivor in segments. And right now, you got Andy want to do one thing. You got Teeny want to do one thing, and Sam wants to do another thing, and everybody's on the out. And then you got Sue, where they're trying to console because they voted out her number one. And you like, okay, who do you go with next? I'm looking at Rachel, because Rachel got things in her bag. She got an immunity idol. Now she has a block of vote. So she has a lot of stuff to keep you 3 steps from getting away from getting voted out. So I would align myself with somebody like that. Nobody's really picked back up on Sue having an immunity idol. So she's still sitting there. But you want to make sure Sue is happy. Even though Sue is just as here's what we're missing. Sue is just as competitive as Kyle. I mean, Sue is incredibly competitive. Like, we saw her time and time again. I need Kyle out of the game. I need Kyle out of the game. I mean, I kept seeing people online. It was really funny because I'm a big South Park fan. And you would always have Cartman be like, I'll say it in a nice way since we're on YouTube and everything. Screw you, Kyle. And I saw people post that and be like, this is Sue every single episode for no reason. She's just like, screw you, Kyle. You wrote my name down. I need you out of the game.
I got that an entire season.
Yeah,
Bruce. Shut up, Bruce. Bruce, you're dumb. Bruce, you sound horrible.
They did. They edited the hell out of
it. For the reasons for whatever they are. But that's what makes good TV in some sense of the word. But it's just, I think that we're at a precipice right now where you're now going to see a lot of shifting. There's going to be a lot of shifting. That 5 that's going on right now, that's going to be twisted on its head here shortly. Because I really do think that someone like Sam's going to be able to talk to them and find their better inner child and kind of sync with them a little bit more. I wouldn't put it past them to win immunity for next week. Wouldn't put it past them. And then it's like now, just like when Rachel walked away, like now that little core 5 now they've going on, they got to eat each other. Somebody's got to be eaten from that group, and I think that Genevieve's going to be safe, and they're gonna cannibalize each other somehow, some way.
I mean, who out of the 5? I mean, if we're looking at these 5, I'll say them one more time. It's Caroline, Teeny, Sue, Andy, and Rachel. I always say when people are obviously on the bottom, which you have 3 people obviously on the bottom in this situation, you have Kyle, Genevieve, and Sam kind of looking for a home. They're looking for someone to tell them how to vote and everything. Mm-hmm. You're looking at the numbers. There's 8 people. So you could bring those 3 people in to make a 4-4 split vote if you really wanted to. Who should be looking at this proposed 5 and say, hey, I'm on the bottom of this 5. Someone's got to be on the bottom. It's, you guys aren't all going to the end together. Who could have used this opportunity? I know I'm kind of speaking hypothetical, but who could have used this opportunity to pull those 3 in and make a big move? Because in my opinion, you said Andy. Who?
Teeny.
Andy? Oh, Teeny, Andy. I was thinking Caroline. I was thinking Caroline should have made a big move here.
Caroline is not really a factor, to tell you the truth. I'm like,
that's why she should have made a big move.
Who is she going to maneuver to make a move? She gave a nice speech on this episode saying how she wants to make moves and do things, but she needs other players, and she didn't cultivate that before. It's kind of hard to cultivate it now with 7 players left. Either you're the person that kind of maneuvers stuff, or you're the person that's going to ride the coattail of the maneuver. Andy is doing more maneuvering than any of them doing. So he can give people say, hey, I want to do this or that. Sam can't do it because he put all his stake in Sierra. When Sierra left, Sam's game left right along with it. So Teeny never really had a game. She's just kind of floating right now, and then she got that focus on Genevieve like Sue has on Kyle. So I think one of the issues is Sue has an idol, Rachel has an idol. Everybody else got to fall in line behind that because they can always play it and save themselves and get somebody knocked out.
Roy agrees with you here. Teeny is the bottom of the 5. She has no traction. The thing with Teeny, I don't know if she has traction really anywhere. We had Jim on the pre-show, and we were talking about that, like who's not in a great position. And it's like, Teeny, who does Teeny have? I feel like she'd be on the bottom of, if she did pull these 3 in, she'd be on the bottom of that. I feel like Teeny's that person so far. She's a number for you.
I really do think that Andy would be the one that's in a more vulnerable situation because could we see 4 women getting together and actually saying, okay, if we have to cannibalize our 5, Andy's got to be the one to go, and the girls are going to want to stick together because they've already hinted about it. They've already hinted about it this season. They hint about it every season, but now this is something that's looking like it could be something that could come to fruition.
And they was dragging that long. I was like, why was they dragging that long? Myself, why is all y'all out there?
Yeah,
and it's stupid from before.
They're done with the physical aspect of it, so and it's not to be biased towards whatever. It's just is what it is. Like the physical part of the game is over. It is done. Now it's all about puzzles and the mental part of the game. And I really do think, and I've said it to my wife today. I'm like, yo, a woman is winning the season this year. Like there's no getting around it. There is going to be a woman that's going to win the season, and it's. I think Andy might be the next one to go just for that fact that, if they have to, like I said again, they have to cannibalize each other, Andy's gone.
Because you only got Andy and Sam left. So Andy, Sam that's the last 2 men.
Yeah. Oh, I said the moment I saw the cast, when we were doing the cast assessment / draft, I was saying that a woman is winning this season. Yeah. I mean, you just look, I don't know, something about the women this season seemed so iconic.
Yeah, I want Tiana was supposed to win for me, so I had it in my mind too that a woman was going to win. Like that's
Tiana just wrong time. It was just the wrong timing, wrong situation. Anytime you break those tribes up and you do something, and you put them on those mismatch teams, you just don't know what the outcome. Had she not been on that situation right there, I think she'd still be in the mix right now.
I agree.
Tiana definitely gone far too soon. Wither left to comment here. I think Caroline/Sue are in a dangerous position because they are more tight as a duo, and it makes sense for the three to split them up. The thing with that is I just don't know if anyone's really paying attention to any duos in the game at the moment. It's been this season has been very, who's the biggest player? Who's the biggest threat at this given time? That's who has to go home. And tonight was interesting because once again, this question gets brought up, and this has been a very common question in Survivor. What is more threatening? Challenge prowess and challenge threat from Kyle, or strategic prowess and strategic threat from Genevieve? And personally, I thought this should have been a no-brainer. And granted, at the end of the episode, Kyle was the one who went home. Maybe I'm biased, but I thought this shouldn't have been a question. I'm much more worried about a guy who has won 4 immunity challenges and finished second in the 2 he didn't win than I am of Genevieve, as good of a player as she is and as scheming as a player as she is. I'm much more weary of keeping someone like Kyle in the game, because the dude has shown you he's finishing first or second in all these challenges. He could easily win out to the end of the game. Genevieve has not been doing great in these challenges. We could make a move for her in the very next episode.
Yeah, but
I think that Genevieve is, in my mind, is a little bit more dangerous. The physical, the challenge threat. Look at all the people that have won. 5 challenges, 6 challenges. 2 have won, but 6
only 2
have made it to that distinction.
Yeah.
So. And then you have other people, that have won 3 or won 2, like during the course of the season, and they're considered "quote unquote" a challenge threat. But Genevieve's more dangerous. Look what she did. Who did she get voted off because he threw her name out there?
Well, she helped vote off her Rome early on in the season.
But it was like she's the person that's going to be able to sit there, because if Genevieve is watching this game from 1,000 mile high view, and looking at everything that's going on and taking notes and keeping all that stuff in her head, now she can go to someone and say, okay, do you remember when this one said this about that? What were your thoughts on that? And now you plant that seed in someone's head. That right there, planting a seed in someone's head will grow so fast so that it takes over their thought process, because you have nothing else to think about. Nothing else to think about other than what that person just said to you. So now it's like, wait a minute. They said, what? It happened to me. Someone threw my name out there. I'm like, what, this mother? All right.
When they was all around the well, I was like, how did you let that many people be around the well and you don't realize that you're in the tribe by yourself? You're back in camp by yourself. You never let that many people walk off without you. They got them in the hammock and stuff. Mm-hmm. But you're right. Like Bruce said, all you got to do is plant the seed in the morning and just water it throughout the day. Mm-hmm. And then once you get to the challenge, Teeny said something. No matter who wins immunity, we still got people we can vote out. And that's the thing about it is, until you become the person that they're going to vote out. I think Genevieve dodged a bullet tonight. I think she's going to be. She
dodged a bullet last week.
Yeah, but you in a situation now where Sam talks himself into being voted out. We literally saw last season where somebody talked themselves into being voted out at tribal council, and they voted them out. So it's going to be kind of interesting because now we're down to 7. With only 7 people playing, you can see that finish line now. You can see, you know what? I can
3 more. What is it? 3 more episodes?
Yeah, next week. Yeah, 3 more, we're done.
And then it's 3 more episodes this season. And then we have next week, and then it's the 2-part finale that begins in a couple of weeks. So, I mean, we're getting down to the point. We've talked about several things already, like alliances at this point, like you said, Bruce. Now it's going to get very scattered. At this point in the game, you're moving. This is the playoffs, essentially. I mean, I usually count final 6 as the playoffs personally, but you're almost to the championship game now. And this is when we're at like the wild card stage for any sports fans. We got a couple comments here. Roy adds in, you are biased. I know I'm biased. I know. Jen should have gone. Kyle can't win 4 more times. Why can't he? I definitely think he could have. And then Brian adds in, although one can wonder, couldn't a challenge threat be one of those taking up seats that can't win?
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly. Yes, definitely.
Because the game is outwit, outplay, outlast. But here's the funny part about it: if Sue and Rachel make it to number 6, so if they make it past the vote next week, all they gotta do is play it out, and they can make it to 5. Both.
That's right.
So that knocks out 2 more players or 1 more player, and then they make it to 5. So Sam can get knocked out. So here's the crazy part about it is Gabe, had he not played his idol early, prematurely, he just played it. He could have used his idol himself. But no.
But he only had it for 2. He only had it for 2 travels.
Because he didn't want to take a risk. Now remember, Gabe gave that big story about he want to be on the Mount Rushmore of the new era survivor. And when it came to saying how many challenges you want to try to get that, I think he only did it for 2 times. He could have kept going and had his immunity idol last longer. But he was like, no, I'm good. I said, well, you can't be on the Mount Rushmore if you stop. You got to go to the end. No, you got to take a chance.
Gabe didn't quite make it to where he wanted to be.
And I want to give a shout out to production. So when production do something right, I want to give them the shout out they deserve because they put together that challenge out there in the middle of the water was a great challenge.
Oh, well, we're getting there, Abraham.
We jumped too soon? Okay, we jumped too soon.
Don't skip ahead.
No, Abraham just it's freaky. He can read my mind because that's exactly where I was going next. But I'm going to throw that challenge in with a couple other things that happened this episode because let's just talk about Rachel overall. Rachel is, yes, they put out betting favorites to win for the final episode. You can bet on the finale on who would win. Like last season, for example, Kinsey was the betting favorite to win. Some people don't like to look at that because they feel like it spoils the episode. It kind of spoils who's probably going to win. But right now, if you could place a bet on FanDuel or whatever you guys use to bet, if you bet responsibly, I would say that Rachel is probably the betting favorite. From what I'm hearing, a lot of people have turned to Rachel is probably going to win this game. Our very own Tegwith, we all have a group chat, the Survivor Now group chat. Our own Tegwith.
By the way.
I was going to, that's on you. I'm waiting for you to say you want to be in. Some people are in too many group chats, you know? They have like 9
I just switched.
Okay. I'm putting Bruce in now, whether he likes it or not. Anyways, Tegwith for Survivor Social, our own Tegwith, when we were texting about the episode tonight, said this episode in particular is screaming Rachel's winning episode. And she is gaining a lot of momentum. Is it going to come back to bite her in the butt is the question, because that's what happened to Genevieve. But she just had an incredible episode. She got another advantage that she can use on top of her idol. She's gaining traction. She's gaining alliance members. She wins immunity. Just an all around perfect. If I was Rachel, this is the episode that I would be throwing a watch party, and I would be having everyone come and watch this.
Well, because she did the boat challenge. She went out on the boat, did that. But other than that, what did Rachel do?
Hold on.
She won immunity.
But let's back up a little bit. So she found the hidden immunity idol. She has that. She played a shot in the dark to check and see the temperature of the room. Okay. She's been integral in having conversations with people. She ends up winning immunity, but she didn't just win immunity today. She defeated. It was like a David and Goliath type thing. You know what I'm saying?
So they had that camera on slow mo, man.
Look at the hugs. Oh, the hugs and the yay, you won. Congratulations. So she carried some kind of favor. And then now she's got immunity this week. So now she's guaranteed 7. She has a hidden immunity idol in her pocket and then she goes out and I think she has a blocker vote. So if she has her pulse on things with it, which I think she does, she's making 5. She's making 5.
She can easily make 5.
Well, the other rumor is she's going to lose at fire because there's been foreshadowing with like the fire in the glare of her glasses and stuff. Those are the 2 rumors. Like half the people think Rachel's going out at fire, and the other half think she's for sure winning this game.
I can see her winning. I can see her winning the game. But you're gonna have to vote out Andy somewhere along the line.
No, we're not. We're going to get into this a little bit later. Andy is not winning, and that was proven again this episode. When Genevieve was talking about Andy and saying everyone in the game just perceives Andy as someone you can take to the end, because I'm telling you, and I said it on the pre-show, no matter how good of a game he's playing, and he's playing an incredible game. He's playing really good. It's been a masterclass from how he started. I know everyone, and I'm looking straight at the camera here. I know everyone wants to say Andy's one of the best players out there. He's got a chance to win. He doesn't, unfortunately, because at the end of the day, he's seen as the class clown on the island. And I don't think the players respect his game so far from their point of view to give them their vote at the end. That's why Genevieve said that the tribe right now, everyone who's left in the game, is looking at Andy as someone they can just drag along, because they know if he starts talking at Final Tribal Council, people are just going to start rolling their eyes and basically they don't have that respect for Andy. And
it all really depends on who he brings though with him, because if it's Andy, Teeny, and
Sue,
I don't know,
Sue.
Andy, Teeny, and Sue. Like, think about that. He has more. He has the ability to talk of what he's done around them.
Sue
they're gonna say like Sue can have the I'm the motherly figure, like I want an immunity and this, that, and the other. Blah, blah, blah.
I could get her votes. I could get her votes over Andy.
I didn't wash my face 3/4 of the fucking game. Excuse the language, sorry. But that just irks me. Like, wash face.
No, I was looking at her with my family. I was like, why is she so dirty? What's going on?
Wash face. But anyway, but it's like, but you have that, but then you have Teeny, and I love Teeny. Like, she's, a well-rounded person. She had a great episode last week, which we didn't talk about because we weren't here. She had a great episode last week in regards to, just figuring out and getting to the point of figuring out who she is and how she identifies herself. Perfectly fine. I love that. Good for you. But what else have you done? Like, you've been out of the vote so many other times. So that's really the route that Andy would be able to go in order to be able to win. Is it depends on who he goes with. He could very well win. As soon as, because he's so smart. The kid is smart. He's stupid smart sometimes. Like that very smart person that just makes like giggles when they talk. Like that kind of smart. I think that's what he has.
Hey, Bruce, you know who mad right now? John Levin.
Who's that?
John Levin. I will add, Bruce, I don't know if you heard, but anyone who's watching right now, during the pre-show, I said if Andy does go on to win, obviously I won't know in time for the live finale in New York, but next season, when for 48, whenever I go to a Bryson Wynn Present event or whatever, I will wear a full chicken outfit for the event if Andy wins. You've got my word on it. But let's loop back. Well, I'll show a few of these comments before looping back to Rachel. Andy better than Jen. Roy, I'm just convinced you want me to be mad now. I'm convinced. Wither says Teeny wins. No. And then Wither also says Teeny would win against Andy. She's likable. She's not doing much, but people like her, just like Kinsey. The players respect her. I see where Wither is coming from.
It don't matter who likes her. It's that petty.
That's all that matters. It's a bitter jury, Abraham. It's a bitter jury.
Bitter. They sometimes they petty. It's the difference between the two. Because I can respect somebody's gameplay and say, okay, I respect that. I'm not gonna be petty about it. But if you're bitter, it's because somebody did something to you in the game, and no matter what they say, they'll never get your vote. That's why it's never a unanimous vote, because it's always somebody in there bitter about something. But petty just being petty. No, I don't like what they said. It's not that they didn't speak the truth or gave you the story that you needed to hear. It's like, I don't care what they said. I just don't like the way they said it. That's petty. Yeah. Bitter?
Episode 2, they said something. Man, I ain't listening to that. He said something about a dog. Hell with him. Yeah. And that is true. Like, even on 45, it was so funny. It was so funny having that the inside stuff that's in my mind right now, and then all of a sudden, like, looking at it and saying, okay, if this person makes it, I ain't voting for that person. If this person makes it, I ain't voting for that person. And they see that person, they're like, hey, how you doing? Like, and I'm guilty of it myself. Like, yeah, but when I went into my final tribal, I was like, listen, somebody convinced me that they won. I didn't have a preconceived notion. Like, the other people were talking about it, and I had no preconceived notion. I just wanted to know. I had an idea who played the best game, but then I kind of went off of what it was that I saw. So
it was Austin,
D, and Jake.
So Jake was the seat holder. And
who got your vote again, Bruce? Was it not Andy? Who got your? Was it Austin or D?
Andy's brother, Austin. They look exactly the damn same.
That's why I think that's why I got mixed up.
Yeah, I voted for Austin. Austin was a challenge beast, and I respected him for that. And then we had great conversations, he and I, on the beach. I didn't vote for D because I wanted D out like right after Caleb. Like if it would have worked out the right way, then we would get rid of the B before, like that. But whatever. And I love D to death. I really, really do. He's an amazing human being. But as far as for that circumstance and situation, I wanted Austin to win.
But that's the crazy part about it is you get there and you look and you say, okay, well, here's what I'm thinking. But you also had all this time to dwell on it as each player gets voted out for the jury with drinks and food. And you play the game, and you keep playing the game. And then as the next person comes in there and adds a little more information to it. So by the time you get to when you got to vote for the jury or vote for the winner or survivor, you like, man, I don't care about that person. They don't even deserve $1 million, so I'm not gonna give them my vote. And that's just how survivors played. I mean, you can't get away from being petty because we're playing a game where we're backstabbing, lying, cheating, and stealing, basically. I like the speech Kyle gave, but I'm like, you can't feel bad about a game you signed up that says you got to lie. So don't
Kyle was very noble, such a hero.
No, when he was sitting around the fire with Andy talking about, my family was doing stuff that you signed up for this. So don't be at the fire talking about, I feel some kind of way about having a lie, cheat. Man, dude, you shouldn't have signed up for it. You sent the video in. You went through the whole process we all went through.
Hey,
and you know what's going to happen.
You can't fault the man for trying to play an honest game as much as it doesn't.
Once he ate that chicken wing, he was gone.
That's Abraham with the chicken wing. That is just a man starving.
Welcome to the dark side.
He said that dark chicken wing.
Well, we've been dancing around it. We got to talk about this kind of puzzle twist in the middle of the ocean that Rachel went on, this journey she went on. But I'm going to make you guys wait a little bit more because I think this is a great time to go ahead and take a quick break, but we will finally get to it as soon as we get back.
Think you're the most knowledgeable Survivor superfan? Well, you can put that to the test with our Fantasy Survivor game. Welcome to Bracketology, fantasy sports for reality TV. We provide fantasy football style games for your favorite shows like Survivor and many more. We also have bracket style elimination challenges. Set your picks once for the whole season to see how your prediction skills fared. And don't forget to check out the season extras like contestant info, where you can see all the bios of each contestant, and our scoring recaps that are published each episode. Download the Bracketology mobile app or play on your computer at fantasy.bracketology.tv. It's entirely free to play, and you can win some awesome prizes. Good luck.
Oh, we back.
Definitely head over, check out Bracketology. How are you doing in our Bracketology fantasy competition? There's some great prizes. Let us know in the comments. I was kind of laughing during the break as well because I feel like I look like I'm straight out of the 90s right now. Am I?
Yeah. You do. You look like you should be on what movie was that? Oh my god! One crazy summer. One crazy summer. You should be.
I kind of see. I look like I should be on the dating show right now. It's like contestant number 1.
Hey, and Love Boat. Put him on Love Boat.
I just watched
in Nantucket in 1992.
There's a Netflix movie. It's about a serial killer. It's called Woman of the Hour on Netflix. It was directed by Anna Kendrick. Check it out. Solid, decent movie. But it was shot in like the 70s and 80s, and I kind of have that hairstyle going back. I think it's funny.
He goes hair feathered.
I like it's my look. I have a very retro look, and I'm changing my wardrobe currently.
Yeah, he got crabs on his shirt. What are you talking about?
Okay, well, ignore the crabs. Besides
crabs are lobsters. They're lobsters, bro.
Oh
lobsters.
Yeah, they are lobsters. Abraham, what are you looking at? Some big ass crabs.
Hey, I call it like I see it.
I'm just in the Survivor mood tonight, but
Bruce got problems.
All right. Well, let's talk about this challenge that took place, or this journey that took place in the middle of the ocean for Rachel here. Another great play by Rachel, because it was, you guys have to decide who's going to go on this journey. If no one can decide, then you have to draw rocks. Whoever gets the purple rock is going to go. And the two people who wanted to go were Sam and Genevieve, two people on the bottom who are not in Rachel's plans.
There were 3.
And what did you say?
Weren't there 3 of them? There were 3 people.
No, Rachel was the third. Yeah. So it was first Sam and Genevieve who wanted to go. And then you obviously don't want to be like, oh, I want to go. I want to go, because that puts a target on your back. But Rachel kind of sacrificed herself here and said, well, I don't want Sam or Genevieve going, because I'm trying to get both of them out. So she threw her name in the ring, got lucky. And this is one thing I'll say about Rachel. I'm not taking anything away from Rachel's game, but she's been saved twice by multiple people. Soul saved her, and I can't remember the other time. Oh, Soul saved her, and then she just got the right auction item that had the advantage in it. And now she gets the purple rock. Sometimes the survivor gods have to be on your side, and they are on Rachel's side at the moment. That's just how the game plays out. She goes on this journey, and I posted a tweet that I was very proud about, and I texted the group chat as well. I said, now what in the Saw trap is this, Jeffrey? It was like the horror movie Saw. It was like a challenge from that movie. It's like you got weights, the time's going. It made me super nervous, because it's like, obviously her life wasn't on the line, and thankfully it wasn't, but it was like, you've got until these weights, you want to play a game? You've got until these weights drop in the ocean, or you're going to sink to the bottom. So I was like, okay, like you said it earlier, Abraham, let's give production credit when it's due. And I like this. When they first said we were going to do a journey, I was saying, they're like, why? Why do we need it? Why? But then this was one I actually like. It was fresh. It was new. And I'm kind of interested to see what other contraptions they can come up with. What did you guys think of this?
There was some deep water. That water was deep. I was like, where'd they go to? Because that was deep.
Middle of the ocean.
That was. Like, I literally sat there and I said, there's somebody, like one of the safety divers, just pulling the rope. There's no way
it looked like it was. I don't think
there had to be like great whites under there. They had to have been like, whales, something. That was some very, very, very deep water. I liked it though. I like the fact that how many times you're going to see that an hourglass give them their time. Like there's nothing more like definitive than a weight going down in the water and eventually pulling that table away. Now, mind you, I would have stood in a position, because that wasn't a very heavy weight. It was like a 25-pound weight. I would have stood there and been like, yo, this is not going to be pulling this thing down in. I would have held onto the table. I'm not done yet. But no, it gave me like a little bit of like anxiety, like, oh yeah, like, come on, let's go. Hurry up. Because you see that final spool is getting ready to go. And then once that final weight goes, the table goes. So I love the idea that they did something different. I love the idea that it was actually two completely different things: the weights and also the challenge. They've never done a challenge like that before. Yeah. So yep. For them, new stuff.
Which we've seen that game. It's like it's been a phone game. Like we've seen. Well, I've at least seen that game of like you got to get all the colors and in the same category. You can only move one at a time. Do you guys think you could do that challenge? Because I was sitting there, I don't think I would have succeeded. Yeah, I'm not good at puzzles. That's my biggest fear if I go in Survivor, especially Survivor US, which is such a puzzle, like heavy version of Survivor. And I'm very, very, very bad at puzzles. Like I might be one of the worst people at puzzles. I don't think I could have done it.
So the slide puzzle is mathematical. I would have done it. I would have done it, but I mean, the slide puzzle is mathematical. It depends on how many pieces you have. And we practice all that stuff. Well, I was practicing at home. So once I figured out the math way to do it, it wasn't that hard. I'm saying if you're on Survivor, take the challenge. I mean, why would you say no?
I'm not saying would you say no. I'm saying if you were doing the puzzle, do you think you could have completed?
Yeah. But look at Bruce. Rachel didn't have anything to lose. I mean, she wasn't as a target right now. Also, she had an immunity idol, so it wasn't like a lose for her. But I mean, if you was in a situation where if you didn't do it and you came back and you definitely gonna get voted out, no, I probably wouldn't have done it. But here's the thing about it is, why are you going to Survivor? Take a chance. Yeah. But I love it. Well, hold on a second. Abraham, I'm gonna give production their credits because we smash them on a lot of the stuff. We kill them. So
I'm gonna take shots. You give me shots right now. Yeah. You give me shots because I did not do my puzzle. I went on my journey and I said, nah, my vote was way too important. If I needed it.
No, but again, different situation. I don't disagree with you.
If we were in a losing scenario, like kind of along with what you're saying, if we were in a losing scenario, being on Bello and my going on that journey, then I think I probably would have been like, I got to do it. But I could see the shit show that was Lulu, and that we were going to either take first or second in the challenges. So it kind of made sense for me to be able to do that and just kind of keep my vote. Worst case scenario. But like what she had said, she went back to camp. 99% of the stuff that she said was true, but it doesn't matter. Everybody would have automatically been like, no, it's false. Like, you're lying to us. You got an advantage.
What's crazy is Sam was on her tribe with her, and he was the first one they clicked to and was like, she lying. I was like,
Sam was on a tribe with who? Sam wasn't. With Rachel. Yeah.
But here's what the problem is. He never cultivated a relationship with Rachel when they were on their tribe. He always stuck with Sierra. So now Rachel really doesn't care about Sam. And she told Sam not to blow up her spot. Sam went and got that TNT, some gasoline, and threw it on her. And I was like,
full out like explosion. Yeah. I sometimes forget that they were on the same tribe because Sam focused so heavily on his relationship with Sierra and also pulling Andy in. And Rachel, if you remember, was supposed to be working with Annika, who, kind of got screwed out of the game based off, the decision that Sierra made. So it all comes back to bite you in the ass. And so Rachel, I mean, I don't know if it was last second or not, but the editors did a great job. It looked like it was like last second. She like pulled it out and then the table went. So she gets the advantage, which is a block a vote, which is, in my opinion, a very big advantage to have, especially when you're getting down in numbers, because now you're down to the final 7. You need 4 people to make a vote happen. Well, say you've only got 2 others, that's 3. And then everyone else is going up against you. You steal a vote. Now, suddenly you got the numbers. So I think that's an advantage that is more beneficial when there's only like 6 or 7 people left in the game rather than when it's a large vote, say like beginning of the merge with like 12 people. So I think it's a very good advantage that she can use moving forward. And as you said, Bruce, earlier on in the show, she's got an immunity idol too. So, like, if she plays her cards right here, you can get yourself, say you can survive the next vote, just get through it without playing anything. And then you can play the block a vote to hopefully save you. And then the idol, I don't know how late you can play everything. I know the block a vote is good until 6. I think the idol is good until 5, if I'm not mistaken. You could theoretically get to the final 4. And then at the very worst, you're going up against someone in fire. So, I mean, she kind of the fate of, what'd you say, Abraham?
I'm sorry, Randy. Here's what I think she went wrong at. She told way too many people. She shared it with way too many people.
She told Caroline and Teeny, if I remember, which might benefit her if they do this women's alliance.
Andy.
Did she tell Andy?
Yeah.
Yeah, Andy was on the side with Teeny.
Sue, and Caroline.
Yeah. She told the whole five alliance, or the 4 of the 5 alliance.
I would have stuck with my story that I didn't get anything and I lost my vote. Because she wasn't in jeopardy of being voted for it, and just roll with that, because now you have 5 people. It's like, well, she got a block a vote. We need to get her. So if she has to play the block a vote and her immunity at the same time, now she looked at as a threat. It only takes a little thing for you to look at a threat. So, okay, she's a threat because she might have something else.
But here's the thing. If she went in and she said, yeah, she's stuck with the thing of not having a vote, and then turns around and let's just say for some strange reason there would be 7 people voting.
I see where you're going, Bruce.
For 1 person. Then all of a sudden, now look at it. You have now all the votes are out, and everybody's vote is there, and then you're like, wait a minute, hold on. I thought you didn't have a vote.
Well,
and now,
like Andy said, that's a 0.6% chance out of 18. 6 out of 18. Caroline was like, "Where did you get that?"
Hey, Andy's all about the numbers. He always.
No, he's not.
We got a couple of comments here. Let's see. Roy adds in, Rachel only agreed to draw for the journey to prevent Sam and Jen. That was a boss move. Very good episode for Rachel. Brian adds in, also just noticed that this is also a change in the game's format. No final 8 reward challenge. I didn't notice that. He also adds in, and also probably not a final 7 journey either. Have they been doing that for all the new era seasons? I didn't notice that.
Was it 7? No, it wasn't 7. It was
6.
I was still there at that point. I went home this episode. Yeah, so at 8 was when they did the overnight, I believe, and the girls got to when Emily won, and they were able to get their letters from home.
Letters from home, yeah. Which we still haven't done any letters from home.
I was kind of surprised we haven't seen that yet. I don't know if they've already done it. They might do it this week. Next week for week. For episodes.
If they just flip flopped it, if usually final 8 has a reward challenge and 7 has the journey, maybe they just swapped it and 7's going to get letters from home and 8 was the journey. So maybe we might see it next week. I will say,
really, really good.
Oh yeah,
restrictions.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt. The restrictions are going. Oh, what if they flew people out?
Nah, we ain't gonna get that.
They wouldn't do that. They would have shown that in the preview, wouldn't they?
Well, no, that'd have been a super surprise right there. I went to. That's what I went to play. I wanted to see my mom come out the jungle.
Yeah, they got to bring that back. They got to bring family visits back. I don't know. Haven't the restrictions been gone for years now?
Yeah, a couple years now.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah,
I would say. I feel like that's just another.
We were there a year ago. We were there a year and a half ago. They were still doing the restrictions. You still had to get tested and all that other stuff. So Fiji could still very well be locking it down.
Once again, they need to take a note from Survivor Australia, because Survivor Australia doesn't do the whole family visit like at final 8 or whatever. But what they've been doing is the final 3 get their family members out for like last season. Spoiler alert for anyone who didn't watch the last season of Survivor Australia, which was Titans versus Rebels. But they had a final 3 immunity challenge because they brought it down to a final 2. And for the immunity challenge, it was one of those endurance challenges where you just had to like stand there as long as you could. And for extra motivation, they brought out the final 3's family members. It was like a reward. This is a reward for making it to your final immunity challenge. And their family members were sitting on the sideline cheering them on while they were like torturing themselves. And then also at the finale, they got to sit there with their family members as well as they found out who won the game. That's cool. That's cool. You should at least do that. Like, and I'm kind of old school when it comes to Survivor. Obviously, I like old seasons of Survivor. Not like super old, but I like it when they used to like that final challenge. Like, I wish they would get rid of the fire making. I really do. I liked it at first, loved it at first. And it's stale now. I would love for them to go back to an immunity challenge. This is your final challenge. Who can stand here the longest? Who wants it the most? Because that's honestly, you get down to that moment, 3 people left. That's what it should be about. It should be an endurance challenge. Who wants it the most? Go ahead.
What is it? Is it the balls going through the little? You got to drop the balls.
It's been that like every season, pretty much. Yeah, the balls going. It was something different for 45. For 45, was it not the you had to stack the bowls on top of each other? That's I correct. Believe because I think D won it.
Yeah, Jake broke his contraption.
Yeah, so they changed it, but for the most part, it is that like simulation, whatever it's called, where you have one hand tied behind your back. Yeah, but I will say we usually don't spend a lot of time on the challenge. This challenge was really funny because Jeff was jinxing people left and right. I don't know if this was editing magic or if this was just Jeff being a dick, but it was.
Hey, look,
Sam's in the lead. Sam just dropped. Okay, Teeny is now in the lead. Nope, Teeny dropped. Oh, now it's Andy in the there goes Andy. It was one person after another to the point where if I was out there, I'd be like, Jeff, just shut the fuck up.
Dude, I literally sat there and I'm watching and I'm just like, and I picked up on that every time Jeff said somebody's name, blah, blah, blah. And then I was just like, I'm sitting there and I said, and Jeff says Bruce, and Bruce says, shut the fuck.
take
And
that
it
out.
came down. It was a thrilling ending too because
That probably was
Abraham,
about 2 hours. It probably was 2 hours as I did in blocks.
Abraham,
I was looking at the shadows. They were moving a lot.
Yeah, I should look at
Abraham, you were making the point of like slow motion. You made the joke that there's some slow motion going on. It was Rachel moving like molasses level. I actually thought Kyle was going to catch up to her, and I was screaming for Kyle to catch up to her because I wanted Kyle to tie. He would have tied the record tonight if he won this challenge, which
That would have been
so I was like screaming for him.
Wait, he had 5. Didn't Colby Donaldson have 6?
He would have. No, Colby had 5. There's 6 people with 6 or with 5. Sorry,
6 with 5. Okay, all right.
Yeah, because Colby set the record at 5, and since then 5 other men have tied him.
No one's broke it.
No one's broke it.
The crazy thing about the whole thing was you're looking at it, he was like, she moving extra slow. I mean, what's the slicing on this one? Because I'm like,
she was going
2 steps back.
Yeah,
it took her at least a minute to get them 2 steps backwards.
Yeah,
I was like,
she was going super, super slow, but I was like screaming like it was a sporting event, wanting to see Kyle tie it because no man has won, man or woman, I'll just put it out there, like no one has won 5 challenges since Brad Culpepper did it back in Survivor Game Changers, which I believe was season 34. Earlier I said it was 32 or 34. I'm more confident that it was season 34.
Jim gave the best advice. What should have happened was he should have lost a couple of challenges in between there. And then at the end now, he should have turned the afterburners on right now. And that way he wouldn't have been a threat. And he could have rode that to the end. But he started off too strong too soon.
The crazy thing is he won all these challenges and people were still contemplating leaving him in the game. That is the funny thing.
Only Sam was contemplating leaving him in the game. Everybody else was like, no, we voted him out.
And
look it up. Was it 34?
It was 34. Andy at one point in time did say, I wish I remember exactly what he said because I pointed at my television when he said it. Andy said something about Kyle winning immunities, and that's his only just shy of saying is a one-trick pony. That's the only thing he could do is all he does is win. All he does is win immunities and talk about his family. I believe that's what he said. So now, that extra fuel and motivation obviously is going to keep him going, but the challenge beast doesn't, in the minds of the players nowadays in the new era, it bothers you to a certain extent, but for him to win out for the remainder of the season, to be able to get to the end and win, is not going to happen. So even Andy going back and saying, listen, like we need to get, someone else out, like him winning is, his statistics of 6.4, percent. That made sense aside from the number that he threw out there. It made sense because you're not like the odds of you winning out like this and winning the next 4 immunities to be able to get to the final. Like, no, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
Even if he did that, what would he say besides I won immunity?
Yeah.
He didn't have a social game. He doesn't really. He
said that at Tribal Council, which is like, I can't talk any trash because I've played online versions of Survivor. And I had this same strategy when I became a target. I actively was like trying to talk them into keeping me in the game. I was like, my game is awful. I have no social capital. I've done nothing this game. And at the time, people were questioning, like, is that a good strategy? Should you be actively in front of the jury saying your game is awful and you don't deserve to win? And so, because that's kind of what Kyle was doing, his back against the wall, no shot in the dark die, because we didn't talk about it last week, but they gave it all up for Rice.
That was last week.
And so, well, that's what I'm saying. We weren't here last week, so we didn't get to talk about it, but no one has a shot in the dark die. So his only option at that point, Kyle felt like it was probably for certain going to be him, especially since all the votes were pretty much on him. And he just started right in front of the people who would have to vote you $1 million, just saying, don't keep me in the game. I've done nothing. I've done literally nothing. You should just leave me here because I've done nothing. Which is that a good strategy?
Some people
Yes. You know what? Again, the person that did it the best, the absolute best, was Jam Jam. Jam was very, very self-deprecating, but also hilarious when he did it. The only thing that Kyle was missing was the hilarity. and making, taking the guard down on people. Like, yes, I won these things, but you know what? It just the sun shines on a dog's ass any day. Like, just something stupid, just trying to get them to giggle or whatever. And Jam did that. No matter what, Jam had that entire the people that were still in the game, the people in the jury. Whenever he spoke, they smiled and they looked at him like, "Oh, Jam," and then he ended up winning the season. So
Jam was funny on the preview. When he said, "I want to poop in the ocean," I was like, "I want to see this guy play." Yeah, I mean, he just came across like, I was like, I see Jam play, man. I mean,
I want to see Jam. I love Jam. Yes, what an icon.
He just came across like that.
And he's on. He does an episode with us almost every year. So big supporter of the show. Love you, Jam. Gentlemen, unfortunately, we had to say goodbye to Kyle tonight. The record will not be tied, but the new era record has been broken. Out of all the new era players, he is the only one who has won 4 individual immunity challenges. Challenge beast this season. Would love to see him come back and try it again. But just an all-around family man who went out shaking hands with everyone, kissing babies. So
that's not good shit. No,
I'm sorry. So he was going out the whole night. What the hell was Gabe wearing tonight?
Oh.
Gabe looked like he was.
I didn't see it. Okay, I just noticed.
Hey, Bruce,
I just noticed they made Soul put a shirt on. Like,
look here.
Production was like, "Soul, you can't do this. You're distracting people."
Bruce can't be Jack, bro.
Soul came out with the rain mist on his.
What was Gabe wearing?
I don't know what Gabe was wearing. Like, I don't know. Maybe that was a part of his where he's from. I don't know. I've never, like, he legit had like the bandana on his head and he had the shirt buttoned up, and it was like, I was like, what?
No.
Because I wasn't expecting that from him. From what I've understood from him and what from what I've seen and whatever, and the vibe that I get was not that. Like, they did not cast him to come out like looking like that. And then when he finally got a chance to be able to dress himself, that's what he came out with. So I was just like,
I got to go back and look at it. I didn't pay enough attention.
Wardrobe
just caught my eye. That's my problem.
Look it up right now.
Wardrobe did not review his outfit. Wardrobe reviews all our outfits. They did not review his outfit. He must have been allowed to pick his own clothes and not tell nobody. Because I was like, basically, when you come back for the jury, you got your shine on. You got your hair done. You done shaved. You looking at like a whole brand new person. Gabe went down like he was still on the island. Like, did you just walk across to the other
island? He's living in the moment.
No.
Gentlemen, we got a couple questions here. I told you guys we'd get back to these questions before we wrap up here. So Brian asked this earlier. Strange of the editors to mention both idols in the recap when they had no impact this episode. Any ideas why? They did it just to make me look stupid, because I posted in the group chat at the very start of the episode. I posted, okay, this is kind of making me mad because Survivor lately in recent seasons they've loved posting something on social media that gives you a hint about what's going to happen. And then in these recaps, they kind of show you, hey, this is the direction we're going. This is who we're going to focus on this episode. So they showed both idols. And I texted, all my friends, and I was like, why? They're pretty much just telling us, hey, an idol's going to be played tonight. Like, why are you doing this?
How y'all missing this one? This is what you tell your friends. Survivor's a TV show. I need to sucker you in if I can't get you to come in by yourself and sit here and watch it till the end and see if this idol going to be played. It's a TV show.
Well, I'm just happy it wasn't played because I thought they were just blatantly saying, hey, an idol's going to be played.
You didn't get that until the end. You got to go to the end of the show to realize, they're not going to play these idols. So by that time, you already counted. You didn't watch the show. It's a great move on their part.
Oh, fooled me. Made me look stupid.
Well, that's the beauty of editing. Like, they have to be able to grab some kind of something that happened that's relevant. Like them, the potential for an idol to be played. Oh my God, are they in trouble? Like, and then let's just say a third of the people watching are they really, really, really love Rachel and they don't want to see her go home. They talk about her idol, like, oh no, because she potentially be going home. Like, what are we gonna do? And then nothing comes of it. But you also see Rachel win, individual immunity, so you're happy on that side. So, they're gonna twist and turn it as much as humanly possible. I really do think, in reading into the edit the way that I do, which is 90% wrong, but I really do think that someone's going home with their idol.
Somebody got to get got once. I think it's gonna be Sue.
It'll be interesting to see. I could definitely see it. I could see it being Sue. And then the other question we got, Roy Jolly. Do you guys think Rachel's idol advantage and immunity win guarantees that she'll make it to the Final Four? We kind of touched base on this. Is it a guarantee, as Charles Barkley would say?
Nah, because stuff got to fall into place. I mean, it could get her close. I mean, it all depends on how it falls into place. If she becomes a target next week and she doesn't realize it, she goes home with the immunity out in her pocket. If she realizes she plays a shot in the dark, it's a bunch of y'all these days in the new era. She plays it, she got blocked, then they think she's another threat. She got the blocker vote that she told everybody about, and they probably still target her. I mean, there's just so many things that got to line up for her. I think she has a good chance of making it to the Final Three and winning this season, but she still has to get past these last, we're down to 7 now. You still have to get past this gauntlet of 4.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anyone in mind that you think this person's winning the game? And I'm pretty confident about it.
Yeah, I can't do it. Something in my mind is telling me that I just cannot figure out who the winner is going to be. And I'm kind of pleasantly surprised by that, because I love the idea that I don't know. But one of the things that I think where Rachel will slip up, and just kind of go back to the previous question.
Yes.
I can speak about my own experiences of when I went like this, and I said, okay, here's our Final Four, but here's how we can get rid of these 4. Once I did that and I started looking at the long game is where I went wrong. Like Genevieve talked about the emotional part of it all and kind of separating the two. I kind of wish she would have left that to herself in Final Tribal. In the last tribal council that they had, I was hoping she would leave that to herself, because there is a lot of power to that. But once you start calculating yourself getting to the end with the numbers that you have, that's when you're done, because something's going to flip itself upside down. You're going to not expect it. And it inevitably always happens. So, and I know it happened to me. I know it happened to a couple other people as well. Once you started thinking about the end game and getting to their final speech at the Final Three. So,
they got Messy Jeff there, man.
What's
that? Messy Jeff don't leave you alone. He was trying to sit there and mind her own business.
That was a long tribal council too. Like that, is something going to happen? I'm like, that was a very long tribal speech.
16 minutes.
That's
16 minutes.
That's insane. We have one last. Oh, go ahead, Abraham.
Jeff Murphy looks at the video and be like, "This is what I'm gonna do tonight. I'm gonna get somebody. Somebody gonna take this bait." So Genevieve, what you thinking over there? Because I see you just relaxing. No, I'm just trying to mind my own business. I ain't trying to get into this.
That's
right
me.
now.
I'd be like, Jeff, no comment.
No, Jeff, just leave me out of this right now. Let them talk. Genevieve, go back to chilling.
Nope. Yeah, listen. Jeff is gonna be like, What you're doing right now is you're trying to take control of my show. This is my show. You're going to answer my damn question. I'm going to ask you 17 different times in 17 different ways, but you're going to answer my question. So why the hell are you sitting there with this, this little demeanor? You're all quiet.
Got your legs crossed. I thought she was in court.
Yeah.
Here's the jewelry.
She's always was stoic. She's very stoic in how she says.
Kyle started smiling. What you smiling about, punk? What you got?
We got 2 questions here that kind of go
hot seat on the ass.
Brian says, well, there's also Sam's expired idol. Was that what was being used in next episode's preview, or were they just making a fake one? And then Wither adds into that, how do you think that Genevieve's fake idol can save her? I don't get it unless Andy flips and makes it a 2-2-3 vote. So I guess we'll just take those 2. We did see in the preview for next week's episode, Genevieve kind of making a fake idol or working on something. And then her and Sam got very excited about how this could work. I think it's CBS baiting us again. I think one of those 2 is going to go home next week.
I'm referring back to Mr. Wilder.
Wither.
Wilder. Yeah. No, Wilder.
Oh, wow. Josh Wilder.
Josh Wilder. His fake idol. His ability to make fake idols wasn't that good. So it all depends.
I can still see Jam laughing.
What? No.
Don't break it. You can't break an idol.
Give it back to me. Give it to me.
I mean, it could go either way. It all depends, but you still need somebody to believe you or go with you on the plan. So who knows, man? It's Survivor. We don't know what's gonna happen next episode. We're gonna speculate.
Yeah.
But good effort to try to make one. Good effort to try to make one.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, maybe if Bruce made a fake idol. No, Bruce, I can't do that too.
He's some fake idol. He had a real one he ain't play. He don't need no fake one.
it might as well have been fake shit. I didn't use it.
Hey, we've got a lot. Oh, what was that, Abraham?
They took it from you.
Hold on. Do they take it when you go past, when you hit the snorch, when they hit your torch, when you go back that way, do they take it back there?
Yeah,
Yeah, they dirty,
in the back.
I
was sitting in the holding tent, if you will, and they took it from me. Right when I was done crying, and right after I woke up, I took a nap quickly too.
Man, I ran and jumped into somebody's arms, man. When I got that tent,
I would be sleeping.
There's some things that go on in Survivor, man. You can only talk with Survivor folks, man. So
I would try to be sleeping immediately, but. That wraps up our episode today. We covered pretty much everything that took place in episode 11 of Survivor 47. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you're watching on X, go ahead and hit that follow button. Share this video. We really do appreciate everything. If you listen to this on Spotify, leave us a rating, all that stuff. Just anything positive. We will take it. It's the season of giving. So I can't use that against you, but we would love it. We'd appreciate it. Anyways, we've got a lot of stuff planned for you guys throughout the Thanksgiving, Black Friday week as we head towards December and the cold's right around the corner. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm doing a monologue now. But anyways, usually on Thursdays, Survivor Social is live at 9 p.m. Eastern time. This is to be determined. Tomorrow is Thursday. Tomorrow is also Thanksgiving. So much like most of corporate America, we will not be working tomorrow, doing any podcasts. So Tegwith and Kara are actively looking to reschedule. But that basically follow us on our Instagram at Survivor Now Podcast or check out survivornowpodcast.com. And we'll keep you up to date on when Survivor Social will air this week. Everything else is as scheduled. Friday, noon Eastern. Join Jack and Will as they talk about the analytical side of Survivor, the EDGIC. That is for Survivor Stockwatch. That's noon Eastern on Friday. And then on Saturday, Phil, Ollie, and Matthew will take you literally screenshot by screenshot of the episode. Make sure they cover every single moment that took place, every single discussion. It's our final recap show of the week. They will also take a look at some of the best social media moments of the week. That is Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. And as we get ready to log off here and celebrate and with our families tomorrow and eat a lot of food, it's the fattest day of the year, as I like to call it. Bruce, not to put you on the spot here, what are you thankful for, my man?
I'm truly thankful for good health. And without good health, you're not able to enjoy your family, your friends, and the hobbies that you have. So definitely thankful for good health, and family's next. So yeah,
I love that. Abraham, what about you, man?
Real cheesy, man.
Listen, man, it's easy as Kyle leaving today.
I'm thankful, man. Because my daughter was sitting next to me on the other show. She was here sitting next to me for a little while, listen to the podcast. Her and her boyfriend in my other room, and they're looking at TV. My mom and my pops, they out there on the patio. My mom's niece is out there with them. They're looking at TV or the game. My father-in-law is downstairs with my dad looking at the game. My mother-in-law and my wife went to go play bingo. I'm just thankful that we have the opportunity to be around family and just relax and just kind of push aside a lot of stuff that happens every day and just kind of enjoy the moment of this celebration, no matter what you call it. And a celebration with family and friends. I get a chance to see you gentlemen here, and we get a chance to talk and laugh at a show that we all love. But we get to go back now because I'm gonna go downstairs. I'm gonna pull me another beverage. See what game is still on. So I'm thankful that one, they made it all out here safely. We get up tomorrow. We deep frying some turkeys. We got some people coming over the house. So just if you don't take time to spend time with people that you care about, this is the time to just kind of don't worry about the job. Don't worry about problems. Just kind of sit back and just enjoy the moment. So I'm gonna go back and hang out with them. They asked me a bunch of stuff about the show because this is the first time we've actually watched the show together. So I'm thankful for that, the opportunity to just be with the family.
I love that. I love everything you gentlemen said. I'm basically thankful for the same things. I've been dealing with a lot of health issues this season, which is why I've missed some of the podcasts. But this is a time to not dwell on the negatives and dwell on what you do have, because it could always be worse. And there's other people who aren't as privileged as some of us. So it doesn't matter what I'm going through that's negatively affecting my life. It's about what I do have. And I have a very supportive family that I'm very appreciative of. I got a job that I've got my own place. So I just ask everyone, because we know these things, these family get-togethers can get heated at times, and forget about the negatives. Forget all about the negatives. This is the one day. Just look at the positives. You're alive here on earth. That's a beautiful thing. Thanksgiving's going to be a little different for me. My brother's in the military, so my mom went out to visit him, and they're going to have Thanksgiving together. And I had to hold down the fort here. But I'll be spending it with some family members I usually don't spend Thanksgiving with. So there's always a positive. There's, positive and negative, best way I can say it. But we're also, I know I say this every year for our Thanksgiving podcast, but we're thankful for all of you. And we really are. We appreciate you guys taking time out of your lives to come enjoy this with us. And we wish you a very, very happy Thanksgiving. And we'll see you guys next time for more Survivor 47 coverage.